Hello friends, welcome back to our segment of Unplugged with Masters. A story of resilience showcases that no matter how many times you fail in life, but those failures cannot define your success. And today's episode is on a couple who truly defines this. Meet Prashant Lingam and Aruna Kapaguntla, the brains behind Bamboo House India, which constructs eco-friendly houses not made up of bricks, cement, but purely made up of bamboo and recycled plastic. Not giving up through the years of struggle, soon Prashant Lingam and Aruna Kapaguntla embarked on their bamboo journey, but they had to face the harsh reality. Nobody was even ready to think of a bamboo house. Fast forward to today, Bamboo House India is breathing a new life in the concrete veins of Hyderabad, Telangana. Their innovative use of bamboo as a building material for homes is creating more employment opportunities for the people from marginal communities. Bamboo House India envisions to transform rural and tribal communities with bamboo-centered sustainable livelihood opportunities and to also utilize bamboo as a low-cost, eco-friendly substitute to bricks and cement. Besides promoting sustainable living, the houses also provide employment to several farmers and artisans who are involved in this process, right from growing the crops to building the structure. By now, everyone knows that we are depleting the natural resources of the only home that we have with a rate that is well past sustainability. So Bamboo House India is creating jobs for thousands as 65% of bamboo production is in Northeast India. Hello everyone, this is Ayushi Farasi. This week we have yet another promising social entrepreneur, Aruna Kapaguntla, with us in the series of Unplugged with Masters. Now let's get into conversation with Aruna Kapaguntla.
Thank you, Ayushi, for inviting me.
Firstly, starting with ma'am, how did you land up with this concept of Bamboo House India?
Well, to talk about, it was not a planned venture of ours. It was in the year 2006, 3 months into my marriage, and I was looking for a new sofa set for my house. And that's how I came across bamboo furniture, and this quest of mine landed me on the Indo-Bangladesh border. The story behind goes like this, that it was not that market was not having options, but I was looking for an eco-friendly and something unique furniture. So when nothing suited to my taste, I started searching it online on the internet. So that's how I came across bamboo furniture, and I would say it was like, I was stunned, like this kind of furniture exists and bamboo can be used for so many things. So subsequently, I contacted a professor from National Institute of Design. So he directed me that there is a small village called Katlamara on the Indo-Bangladesh border. So they were working with the artisans at that time, and he directed me towards that village, that if you want to have a look at the furniture, you have to travel there. And that's how I landed up there. And I was, as I said, their skill sets were amazing. The artisan skill sets were amazing. But subsequently, when I had a conversation with them, I understood that there are a lot of challenges basically. The communities are facing, the communities in the bamboo sector across India are facing. So there are a lot of challenges involved. I thought I wanted to do my bit. I thought why don't I take it as an enterprise? Why don't I start an enterprise and help these artisans? At the same time, I support myself building a business out of it. So that's how my journey into bamboo started.
Don't let failures define your success. The couple gave up comfortable jobs and started their own proves to be a costly mistake. They closely skipped a blast during a work assignment. Prashant Lingam encounters captivity during a forest visit. And by the end of 3 years, they face a failed business model and a debt of rupees 60 lakhs. Situation turns more difficult with a serious ankle fracture to Prashant Lingam, making him immobile for 2 years. Life challenges them again with Aruna Kapagutla's post-pregnancy complications, and she too ends up bedridden for a year. Life refused upon them. Prashant Lingam lost his father and Aruna Kapaguntla lost hers too. They lost 6 loved ones in the family during this tough time. For the next few years, the couple could hardly put proper food on their table. Sinking into depression, they contemplate suicide. But as they say that we should never give up in life, we should try and try. So did Prashant Lingam and Aruna Kapaguntla decided to try once. They sold their mother's leftover jewelry kept for medical emergencies to try once again in the bamboo business. From no work for 6 years to 150 projects in the next 2 years, their patience and determination finally paid off. Against all odds, their vision of bamboo houses finally shaped up. Their organization plays a vital role in increasing the green cover through bamboo plantations. By giving employment to forest-dependent rural and tribal communities in the bamboo sector, rehabilitating sex workers through bamboo craft, by giving employment to bamboo farmers, by promoting sustainable living, and Bamboo House India continued to impress with their amazing work towards a sustainable future. So, you don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only option left. So was it like a cakewalk, or what were the challenges that you faced during this journey of setting up this startup?
So absolutely not. It was not a cakewalk at all. Most of the time it happens in business is that's not a cakewalk at all in any business. And then when you talk of business in bamboo, it has its own challenges. In the sense like bamboo is under forest restriction, even though the laws have been relaxed now, but when we started the laws were quite stringent. Accessing to the raw material was very difficult. Secondly, I didn't have an information easily available to me. So there was like organizations and institutes working in bamboo, but like they were working on their own mandates. So I had to create a business which would work suitably for me, which I can scale and I can work in the longer run in that business. So that was the second challenge. Thirdly, the communities were all deep inside the forest. So communicating with them, and then once I trained them, getting their products or raw material, that was an altogether different challenge. Having said all these things, and I would say like even bamboo is a very difficult or tricky raw material to work with, because like one kind of bamboo, it has to get acclimatized to the other conditions when we take it that to the other climatic zone and make it work there. And in India, like there are more than 136 species. So we have to know like which species we have to use for what kind of product. Like if we want to have a structure basically, then what is the age, what is the species. So we have to have this know-how. Then it has to be like treated, seasoned for 6 months, as I said, to acclimatize to the other climatic zone. So that raw material itself is also tricky to work with. So as I would say, like business became secondary. Basically, we had to do the learning, like how to work with bamboo and how to I would say fill all the gaps to even start the business model. It was not that there is something of that business we were knowing or model was existing and we learned and made out of it. It was always like we learned from our own failures, like what not to do the next step again. So then I would say apart from all these challenges at the back end, front end was also a challenge, because this was a very new concept. It was not a product which we were selling to the people and people had a know-how of it. It was basically a concept of sustainable living, concept of eco-friendly raw material, concept of providing livelihoods to the artisans. So this concept had to be promoted. And basically the bamboo houses, because like there was a huge challenge in that, because people has to accept the product. We had our like first overcome this challenge. I would say like we had our first demo house. A lot of people would come see, and we wanted to give them a first-hand information about how to live in a bamboo house and how eco-friendly it is and how the longevity of the house it has. So these kind of informations we used to give to the customers basically who came. But the acceptance was very, very less, because it was a new product and they didn't knew like was it for us, or will it be stable, or will it just fall down. So these was all the misconceptions initially the market had. So this was also a very huge challenge for us.
How is Bamboo House India contributing to UN SDG? First, no poverty, creating sustainable value chains using bamboo. Second, affordable and clean energy. bamboo as renewable, clean burning charcoal and biomass. Third, sustainable cities and communities. Bamboo for resilient, cheap, modern building. Fourth, responsible consumption and production. Bamboo as a green alternative to carbon intensive non renewable materials. Fifth, climate action. Bamboo acts as a carbon sink and helps farmers adapt to climate change impacts. Sixth, life on land. Key plant for restoring degraded land, shoring up water banks, supporting animals. Third, sustainable cities and communities. Bamboo for resilience, cheap, modern building. Now that we are talking about bamboo, so how sustainable is the bamboo fiber and why do you think that one should choose bamboo for a sustainable lifestyle?
Well, talking about bamboo, it is not a tree and a grass. So once we plant bamboo, depending on the species, it can be harvested in 2 years, 4 years. That depends basically on the species, and this can continue even up to 100 years for some species. So the main plant doesn't die, and every year we keep on cutting the clumps. And then if we don't even cut the clumps after a certain years, like 7 years plus 6 years, it depends again on the species, the clumps eventually dies. It eventually loses its strength and it falls off. So if we are not using, it will make like no sense out of the whole plant. So if we use that for a sustainable living, to build houses, to provide livelihood to the artisans, and in fact we are not harming the environment, as I said. And at one point here to be added is like bamboo produces 35% more oxygen than any other equivalent plants. So that's like a nature's gift to us. So if we use the raw material, it's basically eco-friendly, it provides livelihood. At the same time, we build sustainable houses out of it, which lasts more than 25-30 years.
Reasons why bamboo can help us protect our environment. First, helps retain water in the watershed. Second, can be harvested annually. Third, needs no replanting after harvesting. Fourth, it is an effective erosion control plant and natural control barrier due to its widespread root system. Fifth, sustains river banks. Sixth, reduces runoff, prevents massive soil erosion. Seventh, helps mitigate water pollution due to its high nitrogen consumption. Eighth, protects surrounding environment during typhoons due to its height. Ninth, requires little attention during its growing or production cycle. 10. Bamboo is well suited for agroforestry and healthy ecosystems. 11th, requires only a modest capital investment to generate a steady income. If bamboo is used in such a huge number, then it might go endangered, is what people think actually. So what is your call on this?
Anything you use in excess, then obviously it would be a problem. So yes, I would say we have to do selective cutting. We should know, as I said, rainy season cutting is not allowed. So we have to do that. We have to have a know-how about the raw material basically. And yes, random cutting is obviously not, I would say, we would not really promote that way, that we should do random cutting of the raw material. So yeah, but we have huge amount of resources in our country. And India is the second largest producer of bamboo in the world. So we can tap the potential of bamboo and we can actually use its potential to the full amount. And at the same time, as you said, yes, deforestation should not be done. There should be more number of plantations done to fill the gap.
Ma'am, now coming to your initiative of Recycle India. So we would like to know a little about this initiative too.
Up to 2015, we were into bamboo, building houses out of bamboo and working with the artisans and the communities in the bamboo. So in the year 2015, I came across a video which showed that a bull was being operated and like huge amount of plastic was being removed from the stomach of the bull. It was like a very moving video, I would say. And I started thinking in that direction, that can something be done, because I was already in the space working as a social entrepreneur building houses. So this idea struck us that why don't we do something out of plastic, which like people just carelessly throw it on the road and we can use it in some way. So that's when we started working with plastic. We were very new to the concept, I would say, and we were not having any know-how in that field either. So we we learned from our own failures, and we moved ahead with that. We initially started working with plastic, making furniture. We're making small artifacts out of it, and that's how we started. We started using this waste tires, converting it into furnitures for gardens, furnitures for home, and subsequently we moved on to making houses made out of recycled plastic waste.
When you started this making houses out of recycled plastic and this bamboo houses, so how was the response from the people that you got?
As I said, initially the response was not very huge, in fact, when we started bamboo, but by 2015 we were almost established in making houses out of bamboo. So when we started making recycled plastic houses, slowly we started working with the government also. Like, we felt like that is the place where it can get a push. People will accept it more if we are able to showcase the use of recycled plastic into housing, into structures. So like for instance, if we think of building bus shelter, if we think of building some school building, if we can think of any basic structure which can be otherwise built with bricks and all, that can be replaced or that can be built with bamboo and plastic. So slowly, yes, people have started accepting it, and we are now building houses with both recycled plastic, we are building houses with bamboo. Apart from that, we are even building houses now with all other kind of wastes also. So like now we give the customer an option of a lot of things, like you can build houses with any waste, like we use incorporate for instance wood waste, we have been using agricultural waste. So all these kind of wastes now can be converted into building houses.
So what is that one strategy that you believe has helped you grow the startup of Bamboo House India?
I would say not any particular strategy, but it has always been an attitude of not giving up. So initially also, when we always faced challenges, we thought there are two ways, either we just give it up or we move forward. So every time we opted for the second option of moving forward, and whenever we encountered a problem, we took it more like a challenge and not a problem. So we thought, okay, if there is a challenge, there might be some solution. So we always worked towards that direction. And every gap we felt was actually an opportunity for us. So we converted that gap into an opportunity. So that strategy, I think, basically worked for us. If you see this room, this is made out of complete recycled plastic. Basically, these are the LDP, we call it, low density polythene. So in a layman language, if I have to say, I would say that these are the milk packets which we use every day. So those packets have been mostly used in making these boards. So these boards we make in a size of 4 by 8 to suit our requirement basically. And then this is converted into a house, as you can see the complete house, and this is mostly an 8 by 12 size house. So any size we can make, and multiples of 4.
So generally, how much time does it take to make one house or one room or structure like this one?
So it basically depends on the size. The lowest size we build is around 12 by 12, which is 144 square feet. That takes usually a week. And if the size is larger than that, suppose it is like 1000 square feet and all, it takes 15 days, 20 days, depending on the size basically of the house. Recycled plastic boards can be used to make furniture, they can be made to use houses, and recently we have built in fact a girls orphanage using this plastic boards. So we have built a COVID hospital. So the applications are n number. You can use it for like a huge variety of applications, starting from schools to we can use for hospitals, we can use for building houses and so on. So if you see this house, it is basically the wood waste. The waste wood after making furniture and all, that has been used to make these boards. And recycled again to made boards which can be used for houses. You can see the whole structure. If you see, this is completely made out of the wood waste.
And how long does it stay?
So these are all the houses which are made out of wood basically has to be protected from outside, and then they will have a life of like 20 plus years. If you hear about a lot of this stubble burning which causes so much of
Yes.
pollution, so this is that structure which is made out completely of those agricultural waste which goes into it.
Okay, so the grass that is burned and
Yes, the rice husks and all, if you see that all is converted into making these boards, and which is used in fact for again houses. So this is the house you are seeing is bamboo house. This is an engineered bamboo house. So these are the boards. So the whole process goes like this, that like first the bamboo is being cut and then it is slivered, made into mats. This is mostly done by the women folk who do the mat weaving. Then these mats are sent to the factories where they are being like machine pressed and gets converted into boards. So mostly one mat comes in a size of roughly 1 mm. So we use around 8 mm, 9 mm, that's the size, because it's not always like a standard one. So mostly for our walling we use that much of thickness, and then these becomes like kind of I would say all weather proof. This is converted into those kind of boards, and subsequently we use this for building the houses.
okay. And I can see a cycle over here made up of bamboo. Can you just explain
Yeah,
about
so
it?
this was a prototype which we developed. Later on, we didn't take it up, and we have been experimenting with quite a lot of products made out of bamboo. Like we work, as you know, with furniture, and we have built like small lifestyle products, and we have even like we have worked on this also. These are also complete knockdown houses, and this can be removed and re-erected, and like you can have all kind of modern amenities inside this house, starting from ACs to your anything, coolers and all, everything you can have inside this. And roughly the cost would be around 1,000 per square feet, and that's a rough estimate. Basically we give the component costing because it depends on what the customer is looking for.
So how does Bamboo House India help generate employment to all this?
Yes, that's a good question actually. Yeah, so as I said, all these communities who are dependent on bamboo for their livelihoods, so it generates a livelihood for them. And when we talk of recycled plastic, even the waste picker communities, they get an enhanced fair price when we take those plastics from them. So indirectly, lot of livelihoods depend, and most important, we are recycling. This is an like I would say we are working not on a linear economy, more on a circular economy where you are putting back the material into the atmosphere. In case of bamboo, if we talk of it, is as I said, it is an eco-friendly material. We don't harm the environment, and we hear like so much of this forest degradation, cutting of wood and all that can be actually saved when we are using bamboo. But yes, again, we should not do deforestation and do like random cutting of it. There should always be balance in nature. And when we talk of even plastic, and like I would say, when we talk plastic, something comes into your mind ki this is not good. So it is also the way we use it. Till the time we come maybe up with some invention which replaces plastic in every possible ways, we have no other alternative but to go with it. So in that case, I think we have to like cautiously use the material and not use it very carelessly, and recycle it mostly to close the gap, like loop of that circular economy basically, and not like throw it on the streets or the plastic getting end up in some water bodies or harming the environment, harming the animals. As I said, the first thing what moved me when I spoke about the plastic house was the bull being operated. So unknowingly so many animals are ingesting basically the plastic. So I'm always trying to do my bit what I can do towards that.
And lastly, what do you have to say if many of such kind of Bamboo House India are built, like people come up with these kind of startup, can it make a huge difference to the community?
Obviously it would make a huge difference, because as I said, see today Bamboo House India has a website where people get information. Whereas when I started, as I said, I didn't have any information. Today we see that the social sector is coming up. There are so many organizations which help social sectors. So way back it was not so, it was also in the budding stage. So yes, more such entrepreneurs should come, because in that case lot of livelihoods get generated. People at the base of the economic pyramid, they also become a part of the whole chain, whole concept which we build. So that's one thing. And yes, sustainable living, as you were talking of, that is a big need of the hour today.
What is that one message that you want to give to the audience through this startup Bamboo House India?
Well, if I have to give a message, so what I have learned in my journey, or what experiences I had, I would like to share is never give up on your dreams. So that is one thing I would definitely like to share. And we have to have patience when we have a dream. It is not that we choose an n number of options and then say it doesn't work for us. We have to have patience, perseverance, and the long-term goal which we have to stick on the path of it. Like as I said, converting always the gaps into an opportunity should be one for us. So I believe that would be my message.
So it was lovely talking to you, madam, and knowing about this thought process of starting Bamboo House India and also Recycle India initiative. I hope that all the audience watching this would learn and would make a difference by obtaining the sustainable living lifestyle.
Thank you, Ayushi. Thank you for inviting me.
So viewers, today we were in conversation with Aruna Kapaguntla, who is the co-founder of Bamboo House India, and I hope that this episode of Unplugged with Masters will make a huge difference in your life. The way Aruna Kapaguntla has made a difference to the society with the initiative of Bamboo House India and also through her Recycle India initiative. And I also hope that you all will opt to sustainable living lifestyle so that together we can make a difference to the environment and we can save our planet Earth. Thank you everyone.